Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and I want to thank you all for your patience and understanding. I guess that some of you heard that I ended up having an internet issue today as well, which is the reason why I couldn't do a broadcast this morning. So hi to Isabel, Jamie, Nana, and Jody. I just wanted to really tell you how sorry I am about that. I actually think that I might have been able to do the lunchtime broadcast had I remembered earlier that maybe I needed to reset my router. It turned out to be a national thing, I think. I don't know whether Nana had the same problem or not, and we'll find out when she gets back. But I think they were redoing something nationally, and that was why there was this moment where they did this shutdown. And then, of course, once they shut it down, I want to tell you, if you want to know how connected you are, go through 24 hours without your internet, without Google, and without your ability to send emails or anything like that. Try it for 24 hours. And I want to tell you something. I was horrified at how connected I have become, because almost everything I thought, well, never mind, I'll do shopping. Yeah, well, hello. Guess how I do my shopping online? Hi, Kim. I'm sorry to hear that you had your impacted tooth taken out. That's very painful indeed. Try not to suck on it for a few days. You know what I mean? You don't want to pull out the padding that they've got there. Anyway, so, it was like, okay, fine. Then what I will do is I will, just order up my groceries. And yeah, well, I do that online, don't I? Yeah, so I can't do that. And then it was, well, never mind. How about I play some games? Well, guess what? They're online. It was just like, wow. Just about everything I wanted to do required that I have the internet. So here's the thing that I realized. The next time I get internet, Jody, you and Jody were trying to find ways to contact me. Well, here was the really strange thing. I wasn't worried because I thought I will just send a text to Jody. Jody can, get onto Facebook and somewhere make some comments so that it doesn't matter where she puts them so that people will read them. And then I realized, guess what? I've got Jody's email address in my system, but her telephone number where I could text her was somewhere on the internet. It was one of those days, people. So, but what I wanted to do is to give you my Ferris wheel. We talked about the hamster wheel. Well, I've decided what I've got coming isn't a hamster wheel. What I've got coming now is the Ferris wheel. Do any of you relate to that? It's way bigger than a hamster wheel. And so, the other thing that I wanted to tell you about was that not only did I miss out with you guys, but, I'm part of an online game that I play. And we just hit Gold League, Gold Star stuff. And, and I was missing for 24 hours. Guess how pleased they were. But, what I wanted to talk about is what happened to me on Tuesday, because that was a big day of the Ferris wheel really starting to warm up. And what I did about it, in the hope that maybe it will help some of you. And this is if any of you know about things not quite going the right way, and that upsets you a little bit. Do any of you relate to that? So I had a lot of things happen. I think some of you know that on Tuesday, I had booked a gardener and to come in and to work on my property. Now, I haven't got a big property. Basically, I've got a property that is, I don't know, it's not that big. And so what I did was I sent pictures to the gardener, and she contacted me and said, okay, fine, she'll be able to do that in 6 hours, 2 people, 6 hours. And I said, okay, you have to rely that these people know what they're talking about. So that was good. And I thought, well, that's, and the price kept going like this. Every time I turned around, she'd say, well, do you want me to bring plants? Yes. Well, that's another 100. And then, do you want me to do this? Yes. That's another 100. Oh, no, that's 250. And, so I started down here and I ended up with a price up here. And would that start upsetting any of you? I just want to know if you relate to that. And so what I noticed was that, hang on a second, my stress level was going up in direct proportion to the dollars. Can any of you understand that? It was like, I started off quite relaxed. Hi, Beth. I started off quite relaxed. And then each time I heard the price go up and up and up, I was getting more and more stressed. Now, let me ask you something. Does getting more and more stressed solve my problem? This is what I want you to see about this, that it didn't matter how stressed I was getting stressed wasn't going to solve my problem. So what I had to remember is, what is the goal? Okay? What is the goal? Make sense? And the goal was to get my garden yard looking a lot prettier. You understand? It desperately needed a bit of help. So, yeah, so somebody, who's that, Lauren, saying, doesn't solve it, but it's a natural reaction. Yes, but can you see that I needed to get control of this? Otherwise, I was going to be in really serious trouble. I was going to start getting really wigged out, and I was just going to stress myself. It wasn't going to solve anything. And that's what I want you to see what I did. Somewhere around this level, I went, stop. Yeah, I literally said, stop to myself. This is not helping me. And then I said, what is the goal? The goal is to get the garden looking pretty. And it was pretty obvious by the things that they were saying that they didn't think they could get it done in 6 hours. Now, that sort of, I don't mind telling you, that upset me just a little bit, because I sent you all the pictures, you gave me the time, you didn't say it's going to take 2 days, but yeah, is that going to help solve the problem? No. So I said, okay, fine. The most important part is the front. So could you do me a big favor and now rethink spending most of your time on the curb appeal type stuff? How about we do that and we won't worry as much about the back? Does that make sense for everybody? And that was a sort of win-win. All right. They were happy with that, and I was pretty happy with that as well. So, but it required that I let go of my perfectionism. Yeah. And so it started. Oh, by the way, second, and this was the next thing. The next thing was, they said they would be there at 9 o'clock. So you understand, I'm not a morning person. I actually, got about 3 or 4 hours sleep and got up early so that I'd be ready for them at 9 o'clock. But I got an email about 9:15 saying they'd be there at 10 o'clock. Where's my stress level? I just want to know if I'm unusual. I don't know about you, but when somebody tells me they're going to be there at 9 o'clock, I'd like them to be there at 9 o'clock. So as they told me they weren't going to be there until 10 o'clock, my stress level went up. Again, I ask you, is getting stressed out about it going to change the time? No, they were already arrived late, so that wasn't going to fix anything either. Am I making sense here? So what I did was I took a really deep breath, and she gave me a lot of reasons like, oh, the traffic was bad and this, that, and the other. I'm going, but I smiled sweetly because I don't want to start off on a bad foot. I noticed that she had time to go and get a coffee and other things because that's what she had. So it wasn't nasty. I didn't say, well, gee, you had time to make up the coffee. I really didn't want to mess this up. Okay, so you can see that had me going a little bit because I'm a time freak. All right, now she brought a guy with her. And I don't know if the guy was a friend, related, or happened to be somebody that she just hired for the day. All right, so you have to remember, I don't know that. But he was sort of like the muscle guy. She did all the weeding and stuff, and he picked up all the weeds and put them into bags and things like that. But two things about him. Number one, he was forever on his phone. Every time I turned around, he was talking on his phone. Now, would that upset any of you? And would that send your stress level up a little bit? Okay. The other thing was he was a smoker. Now, as an ex-smoker, I understand that. So when he wasn't on the phone, he was out on the road. He was good enough not to smoke on my property, which I was quite impressed with. He went off the property to smoke. But, either he was, and then the third thing that happened was at one point I caught him chit-chatting with my neighbor. Stress level, was not a happy camper about that. But what I decided was I was not going to get nasty. I was, my goal was to get this job done. Now then, it got to about 3 o'clock. And I realized there was no way that he had enough time to finish. He was busy power washing and she was busy trying to finish the gardens, but now she needed to go and get the bark mulch, the stuff they huck on. And so then I did something that surprised me. Oh, by the way, I kept well out of their way. How many of you can see that in order to lower my stress level, I didn't want to watch them tearing apart my bluebells, tearing apart, all sorts of other things that part of my English country garden. I didn't want to watch them tearing that apart. And, to keep having a heart attack because they were pulling up things that they shouldn't. I realized what I needed to do, if this makes sense to anybody, was get out of their way and let them do their job. Does that make sense? If I if I hired her because I had heard by recommendation she was good at what she did, then let her do the job. So what I did was I then said, what am I going to do? I'm going to go and get out of the way. And that's what I did. And I'm glad that I did because it stopped me crying. I mean, I've got to say that. It stopped me crying. Anyway, so it got to about 3 o'clock, and at about 3 o'clock, I looked at what was going on. I actually went out and I went to go and see everything. And I realized that they were really not going to get finished in time. So I did what I thought was the best use of my time. I said to them, why don't you go and get the bark mulch, to the woman? And then the guy can be doing X, Y, and Z. And then I will do the power washing, the second half of my driveway. And they would go, no. And I'm going, yes. We need to change the time people are spending on stuff. If we're going to finish on time, I need to help you. Does that make sense to you guys? Rather than get upset that they didn't get enough done, I decided I was going to help them. Now, what I did, and I know some of you are worried because I've got a back that's not too good. And I know there's some mother hens in there watching. But what I did was I said, what if that was the other thing. Actually, I've got a lot of little stories to tell you. First of all, when they first asked me, do you have a power washer? And I said, yes. And they arrived and they got I showed them where the power washer was. And in fact, I had Wade actually bring it out of the garage for me. And I said, well, there's the power washer. And the guy sort of came to me about 10 minutes later and said, it's not working. And I said, oh, really? And, and do you have the other nozzles for it? And I went, yeah. And I went and got the other nozzles for it. Well, here was the problem. Hi there, Nana. Here was the problem. The problem was I had a regular power washer, and what he wanted was a super duper, industrial type power washer. Now, they hadn't told me that. When she asked me, do you have a power washer? She didn't say a super duper one. She just said, do you have a power washer? And I said, yep, because I do. So now I find out that my power washer is apparently pathetic. So I tried not to take that personally, and I said, okay, fine, so what's plan B? And they said, well, we'll go and hire one. And so guess what? More money. So I said, okay, but remember the goal. The goal is to get this done. So I said, go rent one. And you go because you know what you want. I don't want to get caught up in it. Plus, I can't lift a power washer. So they came back with a super duper Aliupa one, which, by the way, is really great and did a fairly good job. So then when I went to go and help them, I said, give me, no, Nana, I have not listed yet, honey. I'm trying to tell the story. I'm just getting ready for pictures first. So what I did was I started to power wash, and I could hear Jody having a little conniption. What are you doing with that power washer? That's a man's job. Da, 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 da. But thank you for asking, Nana, but we're getting closer. Anyway, so what I did, Jody, just because I could hear you in my head, I was really careful about how I did it. And I also took it as exercise. Do you know what I mean? I was literally conscious of what muscles was I using, how much was I stretching, and that this could be a good experience for me. I want to tell you, though, to be perfectly honest, I cried. I cried at the amount of crud that was on my driveway. I was embarrassed. Do any of you understand that? So now I've got sadness going up instead of stress. But being sad about how dirty my driveway was isn't going to help me at all, right? I've got to get it clean. And so what I did was I went, okay, it is what it is. You've all heard me say this, it's going to take the time that it takes. And so that's what I did. Yes, and you know something, Jody, I could really hear you being concerned about my back and not to stretch it too much, not to twist badly, to be really conscious of what I was doing. And I did that. By the way, Jody, you'll be pleased to know that I did it for about 3/4 of an hour. And then I said, I need to stop now. I just need to take a 15-minute break because this is, a high-powered machine. And I, let them do it for 15 minutes while I went and, just relaxed a bit, took some ibuprofen. For those of you who know what I mean, ibuprofen, was obviously going to be needed, and better that I take it early rather than late. And I took some, and then after a 15-minute break, yes, I quite agree, Nana. The gas has so much more pressure. It's much harder, yes. And it's also harder to control. But I kept thinking this is really good for my muscles. They're really working very well indeed. I can do this. So then, by the way, he started doing the power washing, and he did my back deck. Now, again, this could be just me, but let me try and show you here. My back deck. If this is my back deck and this is my door from my kitchen here, I've got 2 rocking chairs and a table between them. Okay. And then I got planters along here and a rose tree here. But you know, this, when I went to go and check what he did on the deck, he did not move the 2 wicker rocking chairs or the table to power wash. You know, he did the what do you call it, privacy screen. But he just went up to the level of the back of the chairs. He didn't move the chairs and do the rest of it. Stress level, will it help me? No. So I had to get control again there. And then, of course, he didn't move my barbecue. He didn't move the corner table. You know, it was just very interesting all around. So let me have a look here. What else did I have? I actually did pretty well. I've got to give myself some pretty good points for keeping control. How many of you can hear how many times I had to stop my judgments and get on with getting the job done? And, you know, what really was difficult for me was, you know, this thing cost me an awful lot of money. I don't mind telling you. And there was this part of me that was going, you know, this is way more. And by the way, she bought some flowers, like 6. You know, it was just like, really? But again, let it go, let it go, let it go. And so now the interesting thing is that it got to the end of the day, and I literally said to her, send me the invoice and I will pay it. I checked whether she would take PayPal. I said, send me the invoice and I'll pay it by PayPal tonight. So hi, Nada. And so she did. And do you know, I paid it immediately without squeaking at all. I didn't complain about anything. I just paid the bill. Because she did what I asked her to do. Makes sense? She literally did do what I asked her to do. I might not have been happy with it necessarily, but the place did look a lot tidier, not tidy enough. And what I did was I realized this was not her fault. It actually was so out of control, my garden, that it probably needed 2 people for 2 days. And so what I realized was there's no point getting angry at her, because she really did work very hard. The guy that she brought with her, that's her problem, not mine. All right. Do you know what I mean? If she was okay with him taking the breaks and everything, then that's her business, not mine. The fact that he didn't do some of the stuff that I would have thought, I think he was trying to save time because there was so much to do. But even so, I just went out and I fixed it the next day with the brush and some stuff. So that was Tuesday. How many of you can imagine how tired I was by Wednesday, having done all the power washing? Yeah, I did a good couple of hours, maybe almost 3 hours of power washing. Hi, Niasha. And so I knew that my body probably was going to be telling me about it on Wednesday. So I was very careful with my body on Wednesday. I literally, took hi there, Nerlene, as well, and Niasha. What I did was I made sure I took the anti-inflammatories and I made sure that I rested my body. And I did all those sort of things to make sure that I didn't push my body too much on Wednesday, because I knew it had been through a lot. And then Thursday, Yeah, Thursday was when the internet went out. And, what do you think happened to my stress level then? And I was so frustrated with everything I wanted to do required the internet. And I had forgotten how incredibly wired I am, in terms of everything that I do. And, Jody said to me when she eventually got hold of me, she said, did you paint? And I said, no. And Jody, can you see now? I didn't dare get near paint. Paint you do in a different space. The space that I was in was not a good space to be painting. However, I do want to show you guys something. Hold on a sec. And I wanted to show you, because I know I've got a few artists in the thing. I don't know if you can see, can you guys see the varnish on this? That it looks like glass. Isn't that amazing? I found a new product and I thought I should show you in case, I don't know, Nana, with your artwork, do you varnish it? And if so, how do you like that? Yeah. And I also did it on my coasters. Look at this. They look wet, don't they? Isn't it amazing? Yeah. And so I did quite, once I found out how well it, oh, is that normally red at the end? I don't know why. I thought it was normally blue. Hi, Sharon. But, it was just like, I wanted to show you because if anybody is interested, I'll let you know what it is. But it was, yeah. I just thought that was amazing look to it. And by the way, if ever you want a cheap canvas, go to the dollar store and buy one that they've already got printed. I think this was a $4 canvas. Yeah, Nana, it's called Liquid Glass. I think it's by TriArt. I'll get the link. When I do the editing for this, it looks like a ceramic tile. It does, doesn't it? I mean, and that's what I'm saying, that these they look incredible. I don't know why. I don't think it normally is red. Is there a reason why it is? Maybe it's going to blow up, people. All right, so now then, in terms of the big Ferris wheel, how many of you now can see that I've now heard, I use a house paint a lot. I use for white and black, I use acrylic house paint. And for the other colors, I use a variety of things. I use some from the dollar store. I use some from Walmart. I use, some acrylics and so forth. So I use some hobby stuff and that sort of thing. So I mix and match them. I made what? The painting? Yeah. And did I make these two? Yeah. But I wanted to just share that because, I also started doing some of my other ones. I haven't done this one, but I've done one there. Wait a minute, I'll show you another one. So this one I've done, don't know if you can see it. This has got 2 coats on it already. Can you see it? Just finishes it off beautifully. Now, it's not easy to work with, especially when I'm doing it. You don't see anybody on chat. Well, they're here. What's the answer? Can you, are you on top? You know, when you look at the chat, you get a choice to see top chat or live chat. Make sure you've clicked live chat. You know, on the side, it gives you that option. All right, so, yeah, and then I also put some on the coaster. Can you see it on the coaster? This has only had 2 coats, I think, but boy, does it make a difference. All right, so that is that. And I was talking, all right, so click on the little arrow where it says top chat, and it'll give you the option to click on live chat. Is it smooth? Yes. Well, it depends how good a job you do. And I say that because this one actually right here isn't smooth. So that needs a bit of sanding and another coat on it. But this, absolutely smooth. Yeah, certainly. There you go, Kimmy. Everything's easy to do once you know how to do it, honey. All right, so that is what I wanted to let you know about that. The big Ferris wheel of my life is now going to start getting faster. Nana, I know you've been through this. No, it's not watercolor paint, it's acrylic. What's the wow for, Nana, just so that I know? So they're coming to take pictures of my house on Monday, I think. And that means that everything else will go very quickly after that. How many of you know that that in itself is stressful for me? We are now at the point of of getting it on the mark. Now, one of the things my realtor asked me was, Sal, do you want us to bring each offer to you and have the other realtor discuss why they're making the offer at the level that they're making it? I went, no. And they looked at me and said, really? And I said, no, I really don't need to hear that. I really don't want to hear it all. I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but I don't want to hear them tell me that they're only offering this because this is what's wrong with my house. Do any of you understand what I'm saying? I said, do me a big favor. Feel free to tell, let them tell you, and, you tell me in as few words as possible. They've offered you this, and they would have offered you more had this, this, and this been done. Keep it as short as possible, because the more I hear about what they don't like about my house, the more upset I'm going to get. My house. My home. So I thought that maybe on Sunday, I won't be totally ready, but on Sunday, I wondered if you'd like me to do the walkthrough with you so that you can see. Yeah, I know, Jody. And it's going to get worse. So, what I said to the realtor, let me make this quite plain to you. I want as little contact as possible. No, but they will do, Nyasha. They'll say, I know you were asking this much, but my client's only asking this because this, and this. They don't like the way the doors open or whatever. You'll be amazed at what people say about your property when you're trying to sell it. And, I know Nana's been through this. So I don't know. I just decided I wanted to listen to as little as that as possible. All right, so Beth's going. What if it sells quickly? Where am I moving to? Well, I do have some control of that, Beth. I control how quickly it sells. It's very stressful selling a house that I've lived in for 20 years, yes. It's the first time in my life as an adult that I actually put down roots. Oh, so Nana's saying, all right, yeah, because there was smoke, people smoking in her house. Yeah, so Nana said, hey, if if your people can't stand cigarette smoke, don't bring them. I have not found anywhere to live because, yes, you see, Nana's saying, try living in a house for 40 years and raising your kids and grandkids. I really want to tell you, Nana, that, I cannot imagine. I know what it's like after 20, and I don't have notches in my wall where my grandchildren were growing up or my children were growing up. So I totally get it. Yeah, and you see, this is the whole thing, Nana, that I know they're going to complain about stuff because that's what buyers do. That's what realtors do. And that's what, and I just said, I want to hear as little. I would much rather hear they offered this. Don't tell me why, unless I can fix it easily. Right? And so, I'm going to need your support, is what I'm trying to say, guys. Do you think that's okay? Do you think you'll be able to help me here? Oh, will I be continuing with the broadcast? You mean while I'm in the process of selling? And Sharon's saying, speaking of children, how's Dougie? Dougie is up to here with the marathon. He's involved with the big Vancouver Marathon here, and that happens next weekend or the weekend afterwards. So he's up to here with stress. Don't even mention his name at the moment. Oh, when I'm at the new place, will I continue to do the broadcast? Absolutely. I actually have also got it planned because I talked all this out with the realtors. I said, I want as few showings on Fridays or Sundays because of the broadcast. But if I have to do them, I will take my equipment to the trailer and broadcast out of the trailer. How's that, guys? And if I need to come on later because of it or earlier because of it, I'll put up a notice. But I intend to carry on because I don't know, am I right that you would want to hear what is stressful for me and how I'm coping with it? But maybe you're not. Maybe that's not what you want to hear. You see, to me, yes, you see, Nana's saying that she sold within 2 weeks. Absolutely. And, Isabel's going, yeah. And that's what I had a feeling. That's why I thought today, I need to tell you what happened to me, all right? How stressful this was for me already. And this is the big hamster wheels now. Beth said hers sold in 4 days, all right? So again, in both cases, they were well priced. Okay, what's the 24/7? Jody, just so I know. Nolene, I really appreciate the hugs. Thank you. Yeah, it's, I didn't think that I'd get this emotional about it. And Nana, there's part of me is as scared of it selling in 4 days as I am of it being on the market for a long time. So, it's interesting, isn't it? Oh, that's wonderful. Jody's saying that 24/7 is for support. Thank you so much. You know something, Nana? I wondered if you would let me talk to that as well. I think you all know that I am not what I call a big time Christian. I am a small c Christian, in as much as I really do believe in God. I do have faith. I don't go to church. But I really do believe. And, from that perspective, I thought I would let you know as well that I keep saying to myself, let go and let God do this. All right? God knows what you need. God knows, God knows, the end of story. And so I really have been saying, Nana, when you kept asking me, haven't you finished doing everything yet? I'm going, no. Because quite honestly, Nana, every time I talked about it to God, he said, just take your time and do it in your time. All right, so let me see what Nyash is saying here. I'm a sensitive person, so although I still would like to hear the broadcast, I would not advise you to do it when you're too overwhelmed. To me, it's okay. I love the program, but if it means, it's okay. Listen, it's real life, Nyasha, and that's why I want to talk about it. Beth is saying change is hard, but good. When you feel blue, just think of all the pros instead of all the cons of the new adventure. Exactly. Yeah, and Nana, that's why I kept saying to you, it's taking as long as it takes, because I kept checking in and asking in my prayers, should I be hurrying this up? And I kept hearing, no, just keep doing it. It's not worth getting sick over. You will be fine. Just do it in your own time. And, it has taken me a year, but it's done. Nana's saying God speaks. That's the easy bit. Listening is harder. Yeah, I really have been listening. And I also, now the other thing was this. Somebody asked that just now about how is the market in Canada. Who asked that? Nolene. Nolene, the market has been going down, but I have a very unusual property. I have a really good size half duplex that has a complete 2-bedroom suite in it, underneath. And that is a very good property to own. When I say it's a good property to own, it's the reason I bought it, because anybody who's trying to buy wants a mortgage helper, or most people do, unless they're an investor. And, you've got a built-in mortgage helper downstairs. Plus, I've got a 20-year tenant downstairs. Now, people, won't believe that, but, Yvonne's been here longer than I have. She's actually been here 22 years. And so, you look at it, and that's really a big selling point. I don't know if that makes sense to any of you. It's actually something, when I started to write parts about the description, I actually put that in. Comes complete with a 2-bedroom suite and 20-year tenant. You see, that's a very solid selling point. You haven't got to go take the risk of finding some bozo. All right, so Jody's saying, Sal, it's my belief from what I've seen during the process with the move, that you're being led with a sure and steady hand. Every decision you've made has been spot on. Well, I hope so. Yes, exactly, Nolene. Nolene's saying, I hope it sells when the time is right. And Nana's saying that sure is a good selling point. Yes, I agree. By the way, do you know I've got 2 separate decks, one at the front for your morning coffee and one at the back for the sundowners. It's just like it catches, I've got a deck for each of those. I never see the morning coffee one. It's not in my lifestyle. All right, so Kim is saying, yes, God is with us for insurance. I was so clear to get my mole out, and then I prayed and I was not stressed out. Yes, from being scared. It's a bit like Jody, Kimmy. Jody took this huge risk recently of changing her insurance. And boy, Jody, that must have been so stressful for you. Yet you concentrated on what you were going to get, not on what you were losing. I can only presume. And so that is the other thing. So I have not gone ahead and gone to find the place Now, I know this is going to sound really strange to a lot of you. Can any of you understand that if I have total belief that all this will work out in the right way, I don't have to worry about where I'm going to live? Does that make sense to anybody? Because until this place sells, and by the way, I consider sells that the subjects are gone, and I can now get a bridging loan between this one and the next one. That to me is, that means it's sold, that the bank's happy that it's sold, then I will be happy that it's sold. Because I really do believe, the only decision I still haven't made, and I'm still not quite 100% clear. All right, so let me see how many of you understand this. There's part of me that keeps saying, I've got to stop seeing this as my place now. Do any of you really understand that? Yes, and Beth is saying most houses sell pretty fast here. And if it doesn't sell within 60 days, the price needs to come down. Absolutely. Yes, and I've already had that discussion. You know what I said to my realtors, Beth? What I said to my realtor was, you guys have been in the business, for over 30 years, and you're still in the business, with all the ups and downs and everything else. You know what you're doing. You know what it needs to be priced at. You know what needs to happen and not happen. So therefore, I am actually going to do something which goes against everything you know about me. I'm going to listen. How many of you are laughing? So I said, you tell me what you want it priced at. And they said, we suggest going in at this price, but if it hasn't had some good bites on it at that price, we will be coming back to ask you to drop it. I said, whatever. Just tell me what I have to do. All right. So Jody's saying a gradual detachment. I get it, for your emotional health. Yes, I'm a little bit in limbo now. I'm trying to think about, this isn't really my place anymore. Got all my paintings in it, but it's not really my place anymore, because unless God can hear me that I'm prepared to let it go, he's not going to let it go for me, right? So I am beginning to say, it doesn't feel so much like home anymore because it's time for it to go. Nana's, you don't think what will be hard, honey? Selling it? This is Nana saying, you don't think it'll be so hard. Nana, I know you had an incredible book that you worked with about all the things that you needed to do. And did you? Yes, I will take all my stuff with me. Well, the stuff that I haven't got rid of. All right, so Nyasha's saying, I understand, Sal, to say it's not your house anymore because of it not becoming too attached to it. That's a wise idea. All right. You still have the book. Excellent, Nana. I'm glad to hear that. I kept thinking, I know Nana's got the book on this somewhere. Did you buy it or did your realtor give it to you? Now, the reason that this is going to be a gigantic Ferris wheel for me is because, do any of you see this? Starting now, this is going to start getting out of my control. You wrote the book, Nana. Wow. So that's an interesting thing to have. So it's going to start getting out of my control because they're going to start saying, yeah, we want to show it tomorrow. How many of you know that means I have got to live in a way that allows me to instantly have my house ready to be shown within 12 hours or something, which for me is extremely stressful. I'm getting a lot better, people. I've got to tell you that. I'm a lot better. I'm noticing little things like I've got bits of painting tape still up. That's been there for 5 years. So Jody, could you make a note to remind me every day, did you get rid of the painting tape? because I've noticed I've got 2 lots of it still in my bedroom. It's amazing how you just how you end up just not seeing it anymore. And I'm going, I better get rid of that now. The other thing I've started to do is to clear out my fridge. You know, I've got this incredible size fridge. I've started to clear it out of food in a way so that, you know, it looks twice as big as it already, you all know how big it is, right? But it looks twice as big without the food. So that's, okay, so here's the decision, Kim. The decision is, do I want to go to, yeah, you know something, Nana's saying she had Rick running around like a chicken with his head cut off, but you know something, I know that, and I don't have a Rick. I've just got me. So I've got to be very gentle with me. And I've got to remember to say things like, I can have it done by then if you want to come and help me, you know, or something. All right, Beth says, once it's on the market and someone makes a bid, there is a time limit on accepting the bid and closing on it. I won't move out within 30 days. I would probably have a 60-day move out. You can send Rick. That's so cute. No, you know something, you know, it's wonderful that you're both naturally organized. I love it. I think, Nana, did you bring people in to pack up and move you? Because I'm thinking I may do that for the first time in my life. I think I might say, so, you know, bite the bullet, pay the money, let them pack up for you and move you. How many of you agree? I mean, I will make a profit, people, you know, on this place. And so that's one decision. You packed and had movers. Yes. Now I've got most of it packed downstairs already. And quite honestly, what's left, most of it, Nana, is in those little cubies that I have, right? So I'm actually quite surprised. It won't take me very long. And then if I have the movers come in and take the other stuff. Hi there, Becca. So that's one decision. Now, the big decision I haven't made yet is, am I going to move into an apartment or am I going to move into a mobile home? That is my big decision. Now, the difference is probably about 100,000. Yes, Mana, if you would let me know who the movers were, I'd be delighted to hear. Yes, and I agree with you, Nolene, that even with the movers, it's still going to be very stressful. And so now then, the person, Beth, you were asking me about, is it 30 days after closing? I think what I will do is, as soon as I know I've got a solid offer, I will go and find somewhere to live. No problem, Nana. You know, I'm not moving soon. So I may be, but you know, don't worry. So here is my thing. Becca, so believe you me, that's all that I've been talking about is overwhelm. What's your overwhelm about, honey? So now what I'm going to be doing is going, okay, fine. How do I keep sane in the next couple of months? And so if anybody's got any experience of this, my sense is that I won't be able to go at my pace. I will need to go faster than my pace. So if I know that to be true, it means I need more help. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like I may not be able to do this all by myself anymore because I don't have a Rick or somebody else. So I may need to hire somebody just to help me get this done. I'm trying to work out whether to go into an apartment or into a town home, or to go into a mobile home. Now, they're going to end up costing me. No, I'm not moving into an RV anymore. No. A little boy issue, like a child. Did I miss something here? Or do you mean a romantic interest? So you've changed your job. What's wrong with your health, honey? Yeah, I wondered whether I'd missed some important news there, Becca. A guy. That sounds much better. Yeah, makes perfect sense now. I can't believe that I never saw this color at the end here. Yes. I've had these how long have I had these headphones, people? 2 years? At least. And I don't know why I've never noticed the color at the end. I know that this used to change color. You can see that it's green now. Blue. Anyway, it sort of rotates colors. Oh, Becca. Okay, but I'm sorry to hear about the depression stuff. I'm not surprised, Becca, with all the change that's going on around you. Yeah, but you are getting help, right? Becca, wish me luck. It is my goal to hit a major milestone drop by the end of April. Please wish me enough energy to do that. I think I'm just lost 7 pounds now. I think I'm trying to lose 10 pounds by the end of the month. Yep. And you know something, Becca, all of this is really important for you. If you can learn the lessons at your age, this will be absolutely wonderful. These are difficult life lessons, how to cope, right, without getting sucked into the emotion. It's very difficult. You're currently not getting help. Yeah, Nana's saying she lost a lot of weight being sick. Yeah, are you feeling any better now, Nana? I realize I don't have time to be sick now. I need to be well. You're in a bit of a rut, Becca. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you need a hug. So what support can we give you? And Nana? You know something, Becca? Don't give up on yourself. That's the one bit of advice I give you. I don't care if you change counselors 10 times. Keep going until one makes sense to you, all right? Because you need somebody to talk this out with. This is really important stuff. And I want to tell you something that I waited too long in my life to do that work that you're doing now. And that's why I am so proud of you for doing it. And so part of what, that's why, Becca, I'm talking about the struggle I'm going through now, because I want people to hear that this is not easy for me. All right. I want them to hear that my concerns and my worries. And I want them to see that this is life. It's not just you. It's not that you're weird or something. Yeah, good night, Nana. So, really, Becca, be gentle with yourself and, really don't give up on yourself would be my recommendation. Keep going until you find a therapist that works for you. So, I got some quotes that I wanted to go with. Yeah, Becca, that's so cute. Can I repeat that? Because I think that's adorable. And you're so right. Same with me, right? Just let me know if I can repeat that because it's so cute. When you can say that your mental health is a lot better than you know. Okay, so what Becca said that made me chuckle was, I already know I'm a bit weird anyway. Yeah, who wants to be normal? Hey, Becca? Weird is beautiful. All right. Yes, that's what Beth is saying. I quite agree. And you know, the thing is, what you really want to do there, Becca, is to learn how to cope with your weirdness. All right. And to realize that's okay. You know, when you look at me, Becca, there are a lot of things weird about me, but you know something? I am proud of my weirdness now. I am proud that that I don't do everything the same way as everybody else does or whatever. You know, I'm actually okay with that. And I know that I've got flaws, Becca, and I'm okay with that. I know that I don't do change well, and I am okay with that because I got you guys to support me. Yes, and Jody's saying if weird is beautiful, then I'm gorgeous. Okay, let me find these quotes that I got for you guys because I thought you would enjoy them. I decided to have a bit of a quirky look at this stuff. And it has to do with self-control, all right? Which you know is my problem. All right, so here we go. Things mentally strong people do. Are you ready for this, people? You know you are mentally strong when you can move on, right? They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. Did you hear that in my story? How many times I just literally went, stop. What is the goal? Move on. Did you hear that in the stories that I told? How many times I had to do that? Stop getting into the emotion. The emotion is not going to help this at all. You need to just get out of their way, let them do their job, pay them, and then move on. Okay, so that's one. Number two, they keep control. They don't give away their power. Do you see that story I was telling about the gardeners? I didn't get angry with anybody. And that took a great deal of control. I don't mind telling you. How many of you know I was seething at some point and I went, no, that's really not going to help. Getting angry is not going to help. You know, if you get angry at them, they're going to work differently. And so what I did was when I did see them, I said, boy, it looks like you're working really hard. Thank you so much. You know? All right, so what's a healthy way to release some stuffed frustration? Write about it. You know, really, to me, and Becca, I've always said this to you, if ever you want to sit down and write what's frustrating you, write it, right? Don't waste time telling people because you're inclined to go on and on and on and on and on. What I want you to do is write it down so that you can see it, all right? And then if you want me to, I will read it and I'll give you some feedback. But, you know, the thing is that it's time to move on. All right, so Nyasha, what is it you're not ready for? I think with Becca, though, Kimmy's saying, you know, get exercise, go walking. I think, though, because this is the thing I have to say, Kimmy, knowing Becca, Becca does most of her damage in her head. All right? That, you know, would you agree with me, Becca? That you really are you do yourself in all the time with your thinking. All right? And bless your heart. Yeah. I used to too. And so you want to learn how to stop that hamster wheel of thoughts. You know, and the thing is to get out of the emotion and deal with reality. You self-sabotage yourself. Yes, I can, you know, and you know why I know it so well. Right? Beth knows all about this as well. All right. And the reason I know it so well is because I used to do it to myself as well. And Becca, you know, this is not that I'm better than, this is, I've struggled through this myself, I know. So Nyasha's saying, I'm not mentally strong at all. Because most of what you mentioned, you cannot do. Yeah, Nyasha, believe you me, that you're not the only one in this room, right? Everybody is working on it. All right? Everybody in this room is working on. Hi, Emily. right, so Emily's saying exercising and getting fresh air will help you sleep better at night, which leads to less of staying up late with your stressful thoughts. But, right, and Becca, the reason that you don't feel mentally or emotionally strong is probably because you're not yet, but you're working on it. Did you ever get any books on emotional intelligence, Becca? Because it's amazing how that, I know that you like to read stuff, and I know you like studying stuff. So to my mind, it might be worth sort of picking up a couple of Kindle books or something on emotional intelligence and see if you can get some help that way. All right, so what they're saying is that mentally strong people embrace change. How many of you know that's what I'm trying to learn how to do? I'm trying to learn to embrace the fact that I am about to do a major change instead of fighting it. Okay? Because unless I embrace the change, I'm going to have all sorts of problems. Beth's saying she cooks when she's stressed, doing something that I know will come out perfectly. That's not my cooking, that's for sure. Helps me calm down. Yeah, and Becca, the other thing is, I would start, doing what Beth taught us to do. Things like start meal prepping and taking more time doing stuff that helps your health. That alone will make you feel a lot better. All right, so listen to this. This is because I know I love reading and studying, but it's the motivation to follow through, to get to the books and to start. That's you. Nobody else can help you. Right? Nobody else can help you, Becca. You have to decide you're worth it. You see, once you say, and that's what I did, I said, I'm going to study emotional intelligence this year because I hope it will help my viewers. All right. And so that's part of what I've been doing. All right. So Niesh is saying that seems so hard to do. I'm currently getting over my boss with the name calling by sitting by myself. Is that mentally strong? Are you still stuck in emotion? I don't know. If you sit by yourself and think bad thoughts about her, then she has control. If you just go, I'm not going to let her upset me anymore, then you have control. Do you understand the difference? Yes, Becca. And this is a choice you make. All right? If I told you that guy in your life, wanted to go on a date tonight, I'm pretty certain that you would get up and at it pretty quickly. We are all worth it. You're so right, Nolian. But we need to decide that, and it's like the reason that, Becca, that when actually, let me ask you this, Becca, when do you feel at your best? And I know you've had a really tough couple of years, but do you feel your best when you're working, interacting with people, or when you are, out with your friends, which I see pictures of you? All right. So think about, when are you at your best at the moment? Even if that best isn't very good, when do you sort of stop self-obsessing? And that is what you want to start looking at. By the way, people who are mentally strong stay happy. All right, they've learned how to control themselves. They don't complain. So Becca, that's a good one. Stop complaining. Okay, bye-bye, Nolene. Good to see you. They don't complain. They don't waste energy on things they can't control. So Nyasha, here is our challenge to you. What I want you to do is to work towards not complaining in your head or in reality? How many of you can do a lot of complaining in your head, although you might not say it out loud, but you're still doing it? And so, Nyasha, what I'd like you to work on is have a little competition with yourself. How many times a day do you think negative thoughts about other people or what's going on around you? Yes, good girl, Nyasha. She's saying, yes, I started saying that. She's not going to upset me anymore. All I do now is to do my job and try not to care about anyone else because I've realized nobody cares about me. I'm sorry to hear that, but I think, staying out of it is important. All right? Don't complain, Nyasha. Don't, think good thoughts about the people around you. Right? They will learn to love me would be a good thought. Right? They might not love you right now, but they will learn to love you. All right, Beth is saying her best is at work. Challenges help her rediscover herself. Every day is something weird or new. It's exciting. Yes, you're learning a lot. Yes, well done, Nyasha. You're good. So you see, that's how you make yourself happy, is you stop letting other people control your happiness. People who are mentally strong are kind people, and they're fair and unafraid to speak up. It's okay to say, hey, that hurt. I'm sorry. Ouch. They don't say you are a nasty person because you said horrible things. They go, oh, that hurt. The other thing is they are kind, fair, and unafraid to speak up, all right? They don't worry about pleasing other people. In other words, Jody, we go back to the emotional pretzel that we were talking about originally, all right? It's not their job. It's not your job, if you're mentally strong, to fit into everybody else's box for you. People who are mentally strong also are willing to take calculated risks. How many of you know I am about to take a calculated risk? Some of it not so calculated. But here is my big problem. Do I go into an apartment where I think I might be lonely because I won't live on anymore? Or do I go into a community? And Nana, I am beginning to think that maybe you have a point, that maybe what I do need to do is to get into a townhouse community, maybe, but a single level one. I don't want to be going up and down stairs anymore, if there is such a thing. And that's what a mobile home is to me. Now, this is a very important one. Becca and Nyasha, both of you listen to this. People who are emotionally strong invest their energy in the present. They're not always thinking about the past and, oh, it's not fair, and not always thinking, I'll never get there. They're not thinking about the future. They just go, how do I make today happy? What's the best I can do with my life today? Becca, do you do that for yourself? Do you actually say to yourself, okay, I'm starting all over, new page. Now let me see, how can I make myself happy today? Right? And every day, give yourself a little test. Did I smile at people? Yes. Did I write to somebody and be more concerned about them than I am about me? Yes. Did I, and I give myself a whole lot of tasks to see if you can do it. So, all right, so Kimmy's saying that she thinks I'd be better off I've got a rash going on. I don't know why. Can you see that? I've got to stop scratching it. Kimmy's saying that apartment community would be better for me. I'm really scared to get into an apartment that I will hibernate. I'm really scared about that. And I'd have to be really very well controlled. How about this, that people who are mentally strong accept full responsibility for their past behavior. They don't make the same mistakes over and over again. Why hibernate? All right, now, Becca, take a deep breath. Tell me that you've taken a deep breath, because I'm going to ask you the same question. I will answer it, but I want to ask you a question in the same way. So do you see that hibernation would be a choice, right? Becca, you can see that, which is why you're saying, why would I hibernate? Basically, because I actually am very self-sufficient and I am very happy with my own company. However, why be in depression? Do you understand what I'm saying? The question is equal. Yours is depression, mine is that I'm inclined to hibernate. And so, it's like all of us have got our, we've just been through Easter and we've just been through, Christ going to the cross. And, we each have our cross to bear and we have different ways of carrying it. All right. And the thing is that I want to give myself the best chance I can. Yes, Beth is saying, Sal, you can hibernate in any type of living environment. Hibernation is within yourself, absolutely. And that's why I'm saying to Becca, it's the same thing as depression, right? Depression is something that we do to ourselves. And I it took me a long time to get that. It really did. People who are mentally strong accept full responsibility for their past behavior. They don't make the same mistake over and over again. Now, I don't know about you guys, but there's some mistakes that I've, been over a few times before I got it. Do you find yourself happy for other people's success, or are you jealous of their success? That's a really big one. When you hear that somebody just did something really great, do you go, oh, well, fine for them, Or do you go, wow, I'm so excited for you and mean it? You see, if you are totally strong within yourself, you'll be happy for everybody else's strength and successes. Becca is asking, do you think that people can be completely free from clinical depression? I would ask that of a doctor. I think, quite honestly, if you're asking me, because I was diagnosed as with moderate clinical depression at one point in my life, I have to tell you that I believe that I did enough work to keep myself out of there. I now know all the symptoms. And when I start seeing those behaviors, I start taking action to correct them, Becca. And I think it's like the same, a bit like smoking, Becca. I could go back to smoking tomorrow if I decided to take a cigarette. Did you understand? I just don't take that cigarette. But I do believe that I did an awful lot of work, Becca, on myself. I did a lot of studying about the stuff, and quite honestly, I didn't like it. Yeah. Hi, Roseanne. Good to see you, honey. Roseanne saying she took herself off her depression meds. Yeah. So, it's like you get to, but Roseanne, would you agree with me that you get to a point where you go, it's up to me now. These pills are not going to fix me. These pills help me cope. They're not going to fix it. I need to fix it. Yeah, Roseanne. Yeah. The milkshake, the Bailey's milkshake, Roseanne. That's who it is. Yes, now, if you spend your life, Nyasha, thinking, why couldn't that be me? Is coping bad? No, coping is what it's about. Coping is learning the skills to be able to cope. Yeah. So what I don't know about you, Roseanne, but I was on them and I knew I needed them. But, after, but the last time that I was on them, I had a really bad situational depression going on. But, and I stayed on them for about 5 years because I knew that I was in trouble. You know something, quite honestly, Becca, I think that coping is being free from depression. I think that everybody has the ability to go into depression. Right? And people with good coping skills, don't go there because they don't beat up on themselves all the time. They they keep saying to themselves, my speed is the right speed. It's okay. They have belief in something bigger than themselves, and you do. I know you have faith. And they are willing to fail. How many of you know this one, that people who are mentally strong are willing to fail? They don't mind a failure here and there. They don't give up after failing. They go, oh, that didn't work very well. Let me try it again. They see every failure as a chance to improve. Literally, that didn't work very well. Let me find another way. People who are mentally strong enjoy their time alone. They don't fear being alone. All right. And it's not like they need to be all alone. It's just like they can be quite self-content, and they can be happy alone. Right. They don't spend their time being depressed with it all the time. They actually are quite happy being alone. How many of you know that I'm quite happy being alone? I'm not totally alone because I have Yvonne in my life. Yeah. Yes, Becca's saying her faith has kept me alive. Of that, I'm sure. Yeah, and you know something? I agree. I believe that mine has in the past as well. I've always said, Becca, that if you can still have hope, you have a reason to live. People who are mentally strong have staying power, right? They don't expect immediate results, like the downsizing. They evaluate their core beliefs. Have any of you read Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? And, what that book is all about is your core belief. What do you do to plan your day? What do you do? Do you get up in the morning, let the world control you, or do you get up in the morning and control your world? Jody, the situation when I was, not able to get onto the internet, I decided, I don't know if this makes sense to anybody, but what I decided was maybe God did this for a reason. He gave me, this day off without the internet. What do I want to do? And I did think about painting. And I went, I think I just want to take the time to chill. I've got a lot of stress that's going to be coming my way. And I think I would like to take the time to chill. And when God is ready, then I will be back into the internet and all those things. And I didn't actually push myself to do painting or do anything. I just, played a few games that I could play on my phone. And I, did a couple of things. By the way, there were things that were really quite important going on. And I just let it all go. And I just went, it's not that important, apparently. Niesha saying, I'm a person who never gives up, and yet I'm not mentally strong. Mama Sal, I'm confused. Some of the things you mention I can do, but I'm struggling with. Well, so am I, honey. I'm not perfect. You really think I'm perfect, don't you? You really think I've got it all sorted out. And Becca, it's like, how do you, will I ever be totally out of depression? Yeah, if I keep coping. you understand? It's, if I cope day to day without pills and without all the rest of it, if I can cope with my life, it means that I am mentally strong. Okay, so Jody's saying, I looked at it as an opportunity to practice all the coping skills you've taught me. Thank you, Jody. All right. I was indeed panicking, but I practiced my skills. Yes. The struggle, Beth says, is what makes moments more valuable and worth living. Now, you imagine that. Beth was caught up in a traffic jam or something on her way to work. And you know what work ethic Beth has. And it delayed her getting to work. Now, you can imagine what she was saying. I bet you the air in that car was blue. The interesting thing was, if she had been on time that day, she would have been caught in a tornado. Beth, I hope you gave thanks. I hope you looked up to the heavens and said, thank you for delaying me. I am so grateful I wasn't on time. And by the way, you then had a second tornado go through, right? And the second tornado, luckily, I gather, didn't kill anybody in your store either. Yes, Nyasha, you do need to remind yourself that we're all human beings and we all are struggling. It's not just you, honey. Everybody that's in this room gets up every morning and tries to do their best. And by doing that every morning, look at Jody. I've got to talk about Jody again. Jody, how many leg lifts can you do now? You want to hear a story about somebody who has systematically done incredible work on herself. It's, when we first met Jody, she was being overrun by lymphedema. She's up to 100 a day. Jody, when we first started this, you could do how many? 5? When we first started on this, how many could you do? 5, maybe 7. All right. So now Jody can do 100 on a good day. I hope you are how much weight have you lost, Jody, by doing that? How much of the fluid has left your body by you doing that? Causing your body to circulate better. 82 pounds, people. She cannot walk. I hope you are so proud of yourself. How are you feeling? Do you feel more in control of your body rather than your body controlling you? People who are mentally strong do not expend their mental energy, and they do expend their mental energy wisely. They don't spend their time on unproductive thoughts. All right? So they don't beat up on themselves all day long. They talk about what I can do, not what I can't do. All right? Do you understand that, Nyasha? Don't think about, I can't do it like they can. You need to go, no, but what can I do? Keep asking yourself that. I might not be able to cook a whole meal, but what can I do? I might not be able to do X, Y, and Z, but what can I do? If you start talking like that, you will start being mentally stronger. Jody's saying, I'm feeling more mentally in control than ever. I agree. I agree with you. Beth's saying, I'm good. Next week, I'm traveling to help a struggling store in a different state. I'm a bit nervous, but I can whip any store into shape. Now then, Beth, remember, nobody likes change. And from my experience, nobody wants a know-it-all. So Beth, would you like some pointers about how you might want to do that? And the reason that I say that, I used to have a friend of mine who was every time he got a job, he'd be telling everybody what they're doing wrong. And, that's not a good way. That doesn't make people want to do it, right? It's a remodel and new people, and you're hiring a whole new crew. Okay, so you got total control over that. You're going to train them your way and show them how to have fun. Good, Beth. Yeah, Nyasha. And remember, Nyasha, you don't have to fix, it took you a lifetime to get this to where you are, Nyasha. You don't have to fix it all today or tomorrow. Look how far you've come. We've seen some real changes in you, Nyasha. Ones that, you need to give yourself credit for. You're doing way better than you were when you first arrived here. And, you need to know that it's noticeable. So people who are mentally strong, they think productively. They replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Don't think about what you can't do, think what you can do. They tolerate discomfort. They accept their feelings without being controlled by them. Right? So did I feel pretty pissed off because those people arrived late? Yes. But did I let it control me? No. I went there late. I hope they still get the job done. And I did realize that my negative feeling about them being late could end up, I also thought about it, if ever I've been late, I know what that feels like to be late. Doesn't feel good. So, yeah, let them deal with that. And how many of you reflect on your progress every day? Nyasha, I really would challenge you to have a little positive list of things. And if you like, we'll try and come up with one for you, like 10 things that you want to check every day. Even if you just read it to yourself, did I smile at somebody today? Even if they were upsetting you, did you smile at somebody today? Did you send a note to somebody to tell them you were thinking of them, in some way? Did you, there are all sorts of things. Was I grateful for the roof over my head and the food on the table? Yes, Nyasha, that's good that you can understand that. Listen to what she says. And I can sense too that depression is no longer a thing for me, although I know it could come back. I'm always on the lookout for it now. Good. That's what I was saying. I could fall into depression again if I allowed it to happen. I just have to sit and think too much about me. Wow, listen to this, Jody saying, Sal, I didn't have the chance to tell you yesterday, because I wasn't on the air. But I was able to stand for 5 minutes, which hasn't happened in many years. It was painful, but I did it. I'll work on increasing the time. How exciting is that? Tolerate discomfort. Yes. In other words, it doesn't all have to be good, people. Life isn't all good. Jody, there's part of me that goes, you might also, do you have a walker? I'm so amazed that you were able to stand for 5 minutes. I'm trying to find out. Yes, she is a true inspiration. I agree, Becca. She's done incredible work since she's been part of DearMamaSal. Jody, do you have a walker? How do you get? Yes, okay. And a wheelchair. All right, so here's the thing. You might also want to go, not just that I can stand for 5 minutes, but what about if you say to yourself, I am going to lift one leg for the count of 3 and put it down again. And then I'm going to lift the other leg for the count of 3 and put it down again. And maybe it's only 2 to start with. Do you understand? So that you are forcing those muscles to take your weight. Now, while Lionel's around, don't try being smart when he's not around. But you understand? So literally, because I think that will help you build up their strength in a better way. That's what is coming to me. And I know that you like these little challenges. So, right? And then you can start going, this spring, what if you could, get out of the house with your walker without the wheelchair? Wouldn't that be nice? You know, to actually go and walk, not very far, just out of the building and back again. You remember, were you around when we helped Leslie, Jody? You know, when we first met Leslie, she hadn't been out of the house in 3 years. And so that's what we did, these little baby steps. You know, see if you can walk from your bed to the door. You know, that would be a goal by the end of spring, right? Yeah, you know, understand, this is like, okay, and your big goal may be, I challenge myself to be able to be strong enough to go out and play with the fluff ball outside. Right? Wouldn't that be wonderful to be able to go outside with the fluff ball and take the fluff ball for a mini walk? Because you can. Are you on the ground floor, Jody, or are you on a higher level? All right, you've got two people asking questions, so take your time. I know that can get stressful. All right, so we know that being mentally strong is important to us. And we're all working on doing that this year, right? Not asking anybody to do this by this week. Just be aware that these are the things we're working on. You're on the ground level. Okay. So how many steps to the door? How many steps from your door to the outside door? You know, that's what we're building towards, right? That to get the strength to be able to do that. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Do we all agree, now that we're learning so much, that nobody makes us angry? We make ourselves angry by the way we react to things. Have we all got that one now? I want to tell you, Jody, that the thing that we did with Leslie was we didn't sort of say big things. We just said, you know, we just said, we will know that you are in control if you can get outside the door, take a picture and send it to us. Then we'll know that you took control of your fear. And she did what, Becca? She did it within like a couple of weeks or, you know, a month at the most, right? And then once she'd done that, I said, okay, and you could see in the picture that she took that there was a gate at the end of her garden. And I said to her, how far away is the gate? And she said about 12 steps. And I said, okay, the next one, get outside that gate and take the picture. And I swear she gave me the finger in the picture, but you know what I mean? She did it. And, you know, that's the thing, to challenge yourself. You know, now that you can do 100 leg lifts, that's a lot of muscle. That takes a lot of muscle. So I believe that now the trick is, can you walk to the door and back? Let's say from your bed to the door is 10 steps. I don't know. You're going to need to do that 10 times. That's what I'd be working towards. She went to a concert. Yep, she went to an Adele concert and she was in the 12th row, if you can imagine that. And then she went on vacation in an aeroplane. Somebody who has agoraphobia, really. Amazing. All right, so nobody makes you angry. Nyasha, do you get that? Nobody makes you angry. You choose, it's your reaction that is angry. The people that arrived late didn't make me angry. I made myself angry when I thought about the fact they weren't on time. Okay? Life isn't about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. Becca, here's a challenge for you. If you were out of depression, what would your life look like? Maybe you want to write that down. All right? What would it look like? Becca, can I give you a small example of where these little things make a difference? You know, when I retired, I noticed that I wasn't driving my car as much because I didn't need to go to work every day. And now I'm driving my car less and less. It's really ridiculous. And it's so bad now that I keep getting a flat battery. Now, all I have to do is to go out and start my car and run it, a couple of times a week. But do you think, I know that's what I need to do, but do you think I'm doing it? No. So when I go out and I have a flat battery, I'm not beating up on myself. Right? I go, well, that was good, Sal. You managed to do it again. Now then, let's go. And I actually have stopped beating up on myself. I just literally go, now let me go to the trailer and get out the battery charger, which is where I keep it now because it's closer, and let me jump start my car. Right, you'd like to be smiling and laughing freely, like until your stomach hurts. Good. What movie have you been to recently that's funny? Good. So Niash is saying, yes, I do realize. So what I do or say to avoid others from making me angry, they don't make you angry, right? You make yourself angry with your thoughts. All right, so Jody's making a note about starting the car. You don't have to remind me, Jody. That's not your job. That's my job. I don't typically go to or watch comedies. Exactly. That's what I want you to do, Becca. Start looking at comedies. Start laughing. All right? You like dark, intense ones. That's the whole thing. Start watching some comedies. Get onto Netflix or get onto YouTube and start watching comedies. Start watching things to make you laugh. Work at it. Literally, we go, I have not watched anything that made me laugh today. I'm going to do that. Laughter is so good for your soul. It also is really good for your muscles. It takes a lot of muscles to laugh. Did you know that, Becca? All right, Becca. No, I'm not going to let you do this. So, Becca, here's the thing. All right? What I want you to do is to Google the top comedies in the last 10 years. All right? And then systematically start watching them, if you can. What are the thoughts that create this within your mind? Okay, so what are the thoughts that create negative within your mind? I just want to make sure I understand what you're asking me. Yeah. So, I know what happens, that you get very angry at people because they don't understand your limitations. Am I correct on that, Nyasha? It makes you angry that they don't understand that. Okay, I just found a nice quote. Maybe this will help. Anger will happen, frustration will come, but how we handle ourselves is up to us. What is best for your child? A mother who controls herself. What is even better for your child? A mother who turns to God and asks Him to help her control herself more. All right. So this is about self-control. I choose not to think negatively all the time. Becca, I choose not to spend my time feeling sorry for myself or whatever it may be. Hi there, Ark. So your boss thinks that you're lying. All right? Let her think whatever she wants to, Nyasha. It doesn't matter to you. All right? You know you're not lying. I trust you're not lying. So if it's like, or just ask her one time, say, do you think I'm lying? Sometimes you just need to ask them. And the bottom line of this, Becca and Nyasha and everybody else, including myself, if you learn self-control, you can master anything. Jody learned to control her negative thoughts that she was dying. Am I right, Jody? And we're all dying, by the way. That she was dying and decided to learn how to live again, step by step. Literally, you have, Jody, over the last year or two that I've known you, you have taken so many steps towards living, not dying. And that to me is what has made the difference for you. Now here's Nyasha. Here's something that you might like to put somewhere as a quote. It says, always be kinder than you feel. All right? Always be kinder than you feel. That's what I did, with the gardeners, all right? I was feeling pretty upset with all sorts of things going on, but I kept saying to myself, I choose not to let them control me. I am better than that. I choose to go back to a kind place. I don't have the quote of where it came, but I'm certain you could put it into Google and they will tell you. It doesn't give a quote here. It doesn't give a source, Becca. Otherwise, I would have given it to you. Now, one of the things that some of you know is that a group of us have been trying to eat better. Is Lauren still with us, or did she go off air? I'm not sure if she's still in the. Let me just check here. No, she's not here yet. So, thanks to Beth for all that she taught us. But one of the things, Beth, and I want to make sure that I thank you on a regular basis. Do I like tacos? No. So one of the things that I found out through Beth and her protein boxes was that I could actually make up controlled food amounts for myself. The interesting thing I asked Jody this week was she finding it easier to make the right choices? And, that is the most amazing thing. I am amazed how many times I go to my fridge now and the things that I used to eat are not there anymore. I am amazed that when I order my food now, and Jody, I don't know if you've noticed this as well, how much of the food I'm ordering is fresh food and vegetables, fruit and vegetables. I am amazed how when I think snack, I now think balance. So it has been amazing. Jody, I had to laugh because I was wondering what to make today. And what I did was I made myself a minestrone soup because I had vegetables left over and I was, I'm going to pick up new fresh vegetables tomorrow. And I thought, it'd be a really good idea for me to make a minestrone soup. And I threw some lentils in there because pearl barley in there. So, I used up the vegetables, but I made it into a soup that I can now enjoy. Yeah. And, I put it into 1 cup measures so that every day I'm going to try and take 1 cup of soup. All right, Beth's saying she's addicted to sushi now, right? Right. I'm certain we all go through it. And by the way, Beth, my consumption of avocados has gone up dramatically since I met you. I think for so long I thought they were bad for me, and I now realize that's not the case. So, Becca, another quote for you. And again, I don't have a source, so just forgive me for that one. This quote is actually what depression is about. So, you ready for this one? What consumes your mind controls your life. If your day is spent, thinking certain thoughts, and it consumes your day, that's what's consuming your life. And it controls your life. So if you're thinking grateful thoughts and happy thoughts, you're going to be a happy person. Okay, Becca's talking food. She doesn't want me to be talking about this. Jody, this is a quote that's interesting. I'm not dieting, I'm practicing self-control. That's how I feel. I don't feel like I'm on a diet. All right? I feel like I've had a lifestyle change. And I'm learning to make a sourdough roll all by itself. You know what I mean? It was, it's funny the little things that I'm doing. But I do feel, I hate to admit this, but I do feel healthier. I have to say I'm beginning to feel healthier, which is very exciting. All right, so Becca and Nyasha, think about this one. Self-discipline is about controlling your desires and impulses while staying focused on what needs to be done. All right. So I keep asking myself as I get up each morning, what one step do I need to take today in terms of downsizing? There's a particular quote I need to get, and I think I know what it is already, but I actually would like it in writing. And that's the next step. I now obviously need to be ready by Monday for them to come and take pictures of and measure my home. How many of you can see that is a perfectionism thing? Oh, I've got to have it all ready in time. And I'm going, something, Sal, you don't. They will move things around to get it to look how they want it to look. If there's something that they think is untidy, they'll just move it aside to take the picture and then they'll put it back again. True? Yes. So I don't have to really, I think getting the painter's tape off the ceiling might be a good idea, or the crown molding. That might be a good idea. Yes, so Niash is saying that makes sense, because back then I used to be saying I can't and I'd get depressed. And oftentimes in my mind, I wanted to do whatever. But at the same time, I used to say I can't. Yes, and that is the difference. Don't concentrate on what you can't do. Concentrate on what you can do. Very important. Even if it's one step every day, Nyasha. So, everybody, this is going to be a very interesting couple of months in my life, or maybe longer, I don't know. I still need somebody to tell me that they've seen that light at the end of my microphone before, because why did I only notice it today? It's just like 2 years later, was the light not there before? Or did my eyes get opened up? I don't know. Be gentle with yourselves, whether it's Jody or Becca or Nyasha or, anybody, that Beth even, right? It's like, be gentle with yourself. You took a long time to get this messed up. That's how I look at it. I know I'm still messed up in some ways. Right, Jody. This is so important. My life changed dramatically when the excuses didn't rule me anymore. Yes, if Nyasha, right? Work on how many days you can go without giving an excuse. Right? This is like, literally keep an excuse diary. See if, how many hours you can go without, if your mom says, well, did you do X, Y, and Z? And you go, yeah, well, I would have done, but blah, blah. Go, nope. You just go, no, I haven't done it. Okay? Don't give the excuses. Do you think you could do that? See if you can go a whole day without doing an excuse. Actually, it's a challenge for everybody. I don't think it's just Nyasha. You are a star, Nyasha. Start working on that. See how many how many times a day you can stop yourself from giving an excuse. Nyasha, did you tidy up your room? Nope. Don't give the excuse. Just give the answer. All right, that's a big challenge for anybody. But you are going to feel much stronger, much mentally stronger if you can do that. Don't worry about the justifying it, why you haven't done it. Just say yes or no. Did you pick up the alert? Nope, not yet, but I'm on it now. Don't give the excuse. No, I didn't, but I'm actually working on it right now. Thank you for reminding me. You see, that's what adults do. Or they go, nope, clean went through my head and got the other side. Let me get on it right now for you. It's just like, it's how you deal with these things that makes the difference. So with your support, we will get through the next few days. How many of you want the house tour? I'm not going to try and get everything perfect to do the tour. I'm just going to take you from room to room so you can see. All right, so Jody went and checked to see whether this was on, and it was not lit up for the broadcast about handwriting. Go figure, right? All right, so you want the house tour. Okay. And I'll show you the things that I like about my house. But understand that it's basically all cleared up now. And I know you've seen bits of the kitchen and you've seen bits of my bedroom and you've seen bits of this, that, and the other. So we'll just do a little, I'll just talk you through. But it does mean I'm going to need to turn, actually, I could do it with my phone. Oh, your mom's coming to visit, Becca. Good. I'm pleased. Good night, Isabel. Look after yourself, honey. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that. I am going to go and get on with my life a little bit and then get a bit busy tomorrow. Oh, are they officially divorced now? I didn't even know that they were officially divorced, Becca. All right, so this is the thing. What are you not, right, Becca, say this is a prime reason that you need some help with, all right? All right, so what you said is, to be honest, I'm not sure I'm looking forward to it. All right, what is it that you are scared of? I agree with you, Jody. I agree that wherever I decide to go, it will be home. I don't have a problem with that. I agree with you. That's why I don't think I'm panicking about the where, because wherever I decide to buy it, I'll make it home. And I will mess with it until it is home. Okay, so Becca, I just want to know what your fear is, because what you're already doing is I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to it. So, because I don't believe the divorce is justified. Oh, because of your faith. All right. So, right now, let me ask you an honest question here, Becca. Do you believe that your mum and dad have the right to be happy? You see, I think what happens is that so you have a lot of bitterness about the separation. Yes, you see, this is the whole thing. If you truly loved your mother, you would want her to be happy. All right? And if you truly loved your daddy, you'd want him to be happy. And if they can't be happy together, I had to learn that one. I had to learn that one about my ex-husband, Becca, because I really had a lot of resentment about him for quite a while, and it wasn't helping me get on with my life. And eventually one day I said to myself, you know something, Sal? I don't believe in divorce either, Becca, just so you know. And I, what I said was, you know something? If I truly loved him, and I did, then I would want him to be happy, even if it is without me. And it is not that I have failed. All right. And so what I did was I started to change the way that I saw it, Becca. And so to me, this was like, I would like to think that you would want your mom to be happy, and that it's not about you. It's about, it's about her life and your daddy's life, right? And if they weren't happy together, I don't know, right? Yeah, exactly. Because you're a good person, Becca. And I know what the good book says and all that stuff, but you know something? This is like, I would not want them to stay. They probably stayed together till you grew up anyway. I am pretty certain that this was on the cards a long time ago, Becca. I don't think this was something recent. Hi, Kerry, and bye, Kerry. I'm just about to go. I'm pretty sure they stayed together until you got old enough to be able to handle it. That is my belief. And for that, you need to thank them. So, you hurt your feelings. Well, right. Do you understand that Mike can't hurt your feelings, Kerry? Only you can. This is a big subject, and if you want to write and tell me what happened, Kerry, I will try and work through it with you. But that's if this is what's going on, then you probably need to do some writing on this one. Okay. So everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And as we go through the next little while, I'm going to keep being as honest as I can about what's going on, in the hope that it will make sense to you and to me. And I really, as I said, I really do appreciate your support and your understanding that this may not be pretty in some ways, right? Some of this may come through where I am not able to control my thoughts, or get my feelings hurt, or whatever it is. As you heard on the whole thing on Tuesday, I want to see how I do. That's what I'm working on. I'm taking it as a big exam in how far have I come in learning how to cope with my emotions. Does that make sense? This is the big test at the moment. How am I doing? That's what I'm going to keep asking myself. Can I cope with this without stressing myself out? I hope so. All right, everybody, big hug. Look after one another, but please, 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 above all else, please look after yourself. Kerry, please feel free to write to me if I can help in any way. And this is DearMamaSal saying, look after yourselves, and bye-bye for now.